nearly done with Historia Augustus. 3. For neither was anyone able to bear things given by the eunuch suffragian. This is like the vote or will or influence of eunuchs. Okay, so what was given? Prepositions, military positions. There's the militum for the military, so commanding posts of the military were done by the eunuchs giving it out due to corruption, denying the rewards due for labour or good labour, and people were either killed or liberated according to the libine, the lusts and the money that's changed hands. Those who ought not to have been killed or liberated, the treasury, the aerium, was evacuated of money. It was emptied. And also through these eunuchs who were selling things, those who cotteded daily were frequenting, coming up with things most insidiously. They were doing plottings and treachery concerning you. Initius factions, again, conspiracies and factions and seditions are going on, so that you could be decipiris, you'd be caught or tied up in things. When the pessimi, the very worst, intersay amongst themselves, each one of these worst people, we got here before, they've suggested or come up with some plans concerning the good people. So the worst people are talking about what the good people are doing, and they're suggesting their own sort of conciliars, their own sort of plans, what should be heard by the emperor, etc. Again, this is all these eunuchs behind all this. They would drive out the bonos, the good people. They would insinuate or, like a snake, worm their way in. The detestandos. And finally, or in short again, they would sell everything. And we have fabulous here, which is just stories again. So finally, they're telling all types of stories to get their way, basically, it looks like. Okay, so the lobe has selling all your secrets. So the fabulous here is secrets, according to the lobe. Anyway, therefore, then, thanks be to the gods, who, with you willing it, it's not a res publica, that's just the res. The matter has been corrected, emendated, by you yourself willing it. 5, in Latin days, they didn't actually have full stops, so you'd use things like sane videlicet to let them know there's a new point. Anyway, so sane, or clearly it delights to be the socorum, the father-in-law of a good principus, of a good emperor, and of him who requires everything, or who inquires into everything in English, and he valets the sciri. He wants to know, neuter plural, everything. And who perpellerit homines, he drives away those humans through which before, as if in an auction, this is like a market, a nundanius. I think it's every 9 days they have a market or something. So these eunuchs before had been selling everything, especially you and your information, as we saw. That was the secrets up there, and all these positions in the military and whatever else they were selling. 25, XXV. Likewise, the letter of Gordian to Ipsum, his father-in-law. Emperor Gordianus Augustus, to his prefect and Mr. That's the guy's name. Patri. Unless or except the omnipotent gods were torrenting, were safeguarding or looking after Imperial Rome, even now, through these bought eunuchs, we would be sold, as if placed under the spear. The hastas, when you sell slaves or enslaved people you've beaten, and we saw that at the court of the centumvirs they also have a hasta. So I think when he's calling him father, just know that's his wife's father. 2, deniquely, finally, adverb. Nunc, now, adverb. Demum, finally, again, adverb. So 3 adverbs. So at last, finally, I understand that neither should the Felicians, I think that's Felicius, he not ought to have been praeponide placed in front of the Praetorian cohorts, Praetorian guards, and neither should have, I believe, put this guy, Serapomonius, or whoever, in charge of the 4th Legion. And so that I can omit counting everything, or so that I don't have to count everything. There are many things that I should not have faciended, which I facied, which I did. So there are many things that shouldn't have been done, which I did. Sed dis gratis, but thanks to the gods, with you insinuating in a good way here, with you advising those who can be more trusted, who you're not selling anything. I learned these things, qua which I should not have been able to know, inclusus or shut in or shut out or whatever you want to call it. So he's learnt from his father-in-law about who to trust. For what was I to do? Because my mother also was selling us, selling out what was for the good, and looks like she had concilio with Gordianus, Reverendus, and Montanus, either to praise certain people or to chew out certain people. And by the consent of these 3, it looks like, with his mother, even what she was saying, I was approving. So it looks like he's cut his mother out of the loop at the advice of his father-in-law. 4, my father, again he's calling him. I should want it that you should hear the truth. Vellum is one of those that doesn't use an ut. Wretched is the emperor, upon whom people are reticent to speak the truth, who, when he's not able to walk publicly or with the public, so he's not able to go amongst the people, it's necessary that he should hear, or having heard a thing, is confirmed by the confirmation of plurimus, many people. So he's hearing things secondhand, and using that as a basis for judgment. 5. In these epistles or letters, it can be intellecton, it can be understood that the adolescent was emended and corrected by the conciliums, by the plannings or advice of his of his father-in-law. And certain people say that to have been the epistle or the letter of his father-in-law, Misthius. Certain people say quidem and quidem. That one's that's the adverb, and that's the quidem. Certain people say the letter was in Greek. Okay. But it was in this sort of sentiment or this vein or this type of thought. 7. Autem. Moreover, tantum valuit. He was strong, you might want to say valuit. He was strong in his gravitas and sanctimonious. Tantum, so much so that from extreme obscurity, that's the superlative, other than his noble birth, by his gestus, by his actions, he even made the Emperor Gordianum Clarus famous, renowned. 26. There was a terremotus, earthquake. It was so gravis, so serious, when Gordianus was emperor, that cities, even by a gaping open of the earth, cities disappeared or perished along with their populace, with their people. Because of which there were sacrifices through the whole city, the whole orb of the world, the whole world, and the sacrifices celebrated were huge. I don't know if you call it celebrating a sacrifice, but they were performed. And indeed, Cordus Dicet, he says, with the Sibylline books inspected, all things were celebrated or done, which in it were used, were ordered, so it seemed. And then this evil of the world was sedated. Bit of superstition. 3. With the motion sedated of the earth, all these rites have been done, everything stopped moving. Usually earthquakes don't last that long. With Praetextus and Atticus as the consuls, Gordianus, the nominative, with the twin Janus gates open, which was the signal of a war being declared. Gordianus Profectus Esset, he set out against the Persians with an Ingentai exercido, with a huge army, and with so much gold, tanto ut correlatives, that either with his vexillus, his usually means the flags, it's also the troops belonging to the flags, or with soldiers. I don't know if he could get extra soldiers, but he was easily could evincurate, he could conquer the Persians. Okay. Daily Dictionary, vexillum, a diminutive of vellum. Military ensign standard banner flag. Lewis Short, transferred to the troops belonging to a vexillum, a company or troop. Okay, so this is the vexillus. The lobe has got militabuses as the auxiliaries and the vexillus as regular troops. Anyway, he fecunded an iter into Mosea, so he made a journey into this place, and in this prokinctu, this usually means girding on your sword, etc. It's the word used for campaigns. Whatever there was of the enemy in Thrace, he deleted them. I don't have to change person is, but they were routed, they fled, he expelled them, and he moved them. So it's a bunch of verbs there. And to wrap it up, 5. Then, through Syria and Antioch, he's not a first person, so it'd be a third person. He came. These places, which were Tenebator, they were held by the Persians in that time. There, he fought in frequent battles, and he victored, he won. And with Saphor, the reg, removed, the king after Artaxerxes of the Persians, he recovered Antioch, Caris, and Nisibin, which all had been sub the Imperio, under the command of the Persians.